Om Shri Aurobindo Mira. We are reading from How Do I Begin? A primer of affirmative spirituality by M.P. Pandit. Published by Dipti Publications, Shri Aurobindo Ashram, Puducherry, India. Chapter 1. How do I begin? So often they tell me, this philosophy that you explain to us is so appealing. But how do we put it into practice? Where do we start? As you know, we are all busy in this workaday world and do not get the environment or helpful circumstances that you may enjoy in your ashram. You speak of consciousness, change of nature, soul values, and so on. Do you have any kind of daily framework for the practice of this teaching? Others have asanas, japa, chanting, meditations, classes, and so on. That helps one to orientate one's life in the desired direction. Even for a psychological change such as you speak of, some kind of external support is necessary, is it not? The more I see and the more I move with people, I feel the force of this need. I have thought of this time and again, and I propose to formulate a broad program for the daily life of the seeker after integral perfection. It is understood that this is only a flexible outline to be filled in and adopted by each individual according to his needs and circumstances. It is always advisable for the spiritual seeker to get up as early as possible in the morning and thus take advantage of the hour that is specially favorable for spiritual gathering of consciousness. Before dawn, forces in nature have not yet moved into activity, and there is in the atmosphere a calm, a serenity that promote the same movements in the being of one who is awake and alert at the time. If sleep is strong, you may have a cup of tea or coffee or any warm beverage or water, hot or cold, with or without honey, and walk a bit. Thereafter should begin your program of meditation. Sit erect, whether it be on the floor or on a raised seat. If you use the floor, take care to spread a mat or a cloth. Do not sit on bare ground that sucks your inner electricity away. Take a few deep breaths. Look straight. Do not bend your head down. Draw the mind away from its state of dispersal and turn it either inward or upward. There are two main centers of meditation, in the heart region or in the head, in or about the center of the eyebrows or above the forehead or at the back of the head. See which is natural for you and follow that direction. Let us say you start with the heart center. Conceive of the divine presence in the core of the heart. There in the deepest cave of the being, Rid Guha, is the divine consciousness. This consciousness may be experienced as a light, as a presence, as a sweet magnet, as a fount of love, as the immobile self, the immortal being. Aspire to reach that. Use the breath, if you like, as a thread to plunge into your depths, step by step. Thoughts may rush in and distract. Do not pay attention to them, ignore them. Keep the main part of the mind centered around the object of your pursuit. Go within, or if that be your natural direction, close the eyes and turn your attention upward. Conceive of a solid silence or peace or a vastness above the mind. Keep the mind still and open to that higher consciousness. Aspire for the descent of that consciousness. If thoughts interfere, do not get upset. Ignore them. They will play on the surface and die away. Only do not participate in them. If you work on the heart center slowly, you will feel a kind of pull from within. You will sense a flow of peace, of sweetness, of benevolence from the inner regions of the soul. If you concentrate above the head, you will become conscious of some movement of a flow from above within your head. It will be concrete in response to your aspiration and call. A movement of descent starts, and you may feel your head heavy. Heaviness, pleasant or unpleasant, is an indication that the influx has started and the process of assimilation has begun. Till the system learns to absorb the influx, there is this kind of physical sensation. You should choose a place of meditation that is favorable for this ingathering. Maybe in the open, facing the sky, or in your room in front of a picture or image or symbol of the divine or of the Guru who represents the divine for you. Such a representation has a power of its own, and when trusted and adored, it exerts its influence and functions as the presiding force over your sitting. You may, if you find that helpful, repeat the name or mantra that is meaningful to you, that helps to keep the mind focused and creates a magnetic field of spiritual vibrations around you. This is especially helpful in the beginning of the exercise. If too many thoughts disturb, open the eyes for a while, but continue to dwell on the object of meditation. After a while, the eyes will close by themselves. You may sit for about half an hour. If the movement continues by itself for longer periods, you have to allot the time to do so. If during the meditation you see any lights or figures or images, observe them quietly. Do not try to interpret them immediately. Do not shut them out. So also with sounds. They are generally signs of the opening of the subtler senses of sight and hearing. Some get to experience such phenomena, some do not. The right attitude in this matters is not to ask for experiences, not to anticipate them, also not to worry if they do not occur. They do not, in every case. What is really important is the settling of peace, purity, and aspiration. These periods of meditation are to be treated as pace setters. You should try and continue the spirit of meditation during other hours. That is to say, you must prolong and keep alive the poise of peace, benevolence, purity that develop during the meditation for the rest of the day. Do not allow anything to happen during the day that conflicts with the inner state that you experience or glimpse as being possible for you in the meditational session. Movements like anger, agitation, anxiety, total extroversion are clearly to be excised. Room must be given for the spread of the deeper or higher movements that form themselves during meditation. That form themselves during meditation. After meditation, it is good to do some body exercises in order to activate the energies and put all the limbs into movement. What particular exercises you do depends upon your state of health and the needs of the body. A judicious combination of asanas, a judicious combination of asanas and free movements is desirable. You must exercise the body not just to build muscles, but to ensure a harmonious development of the various parts, a free circulation of energies, and above all, to awaken the body consciousness. This awakening is important to enable the body to function on its own with its intuitive movements, its just needs in matters of food and sleep, rest, and so on. How do you awaken that consciousness? How do you make the body Jagrat, awake? First, respect the body, treat it as a potential temple of God which is to be cleansed and raised to a high level of awareness before it can become as alive, as vibrant as your heart or mind. Observe its movements, its reactions, study them carefully, and follow the directions that are articulated in its responses. This readiness on your part to listen to its promptings and respond to them furthers the body's communication. Every movement of exercise must be done with full attention, with a word to the concerned limb to cooperate. Coax the resistant parts. Do not coerce them. Follow an order of exertion and then relaxation of each part. If you can combine the breathing with each movement, that introduces a rhythm. Treat the body as a friend and it will befriend you in your requirements. And more, cultivate a physical aesthesis. Know that the divine manifests in the physical as beauty. Try to develop your form into some mold of beauty. What is beauty in form is rhythm in movement. Study your body movements in daily life and introduce rhythm into them. Let there not be any haphazard, uncouth movements of hands or legs or mouth. Let each movement be graceful. Then your movements will be meaningful and you will begin to understand the meaning of mudras, significant gestures, and postures of the limbs of the body. As part of this discipline to build the manifestation of the divine in the physical life, there are more steps you need to take. Exercise a taste in the choice of your clothing. Do not wear torn or ugly clothes that attracts forces of disharmony and poverty. You do not need to go in for expensive clothes. Your choice may be simple, but the clothes must be whole and clean. Look up the recent studies in the effect of colors on psychology of man. You will be more selective in hues and colors. What applies to your physical body also applies to your physical surroundings. You need to organize your immediate environment on wholesome lines. There shall be an order, a system, a pleasing arrangement of things. It is easier to do this if you recognize that there is a consciousness in all material objects, and it is part of the development of your own consciousness to regard and respond to the consciousness in things around you. to take care of the material objects with as much feeling and care as you have or are expected to have when you deal with living beings, to arrange them in a becoming order instead of throwing them pell mell, promotes your own growth. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. All this is for habitation by the Lord. You must live in this spirit. Utilize everything to its utmost. Do not waste or let things rot. Give, give with love. Let each gift be a carrier of your consciousness and goodwill. I spoke of body exercises in the morning. Those who cannot make it at that hour must fix some other convenient time, but it must be done regularly. The physical basis must be laid with care, love, and regular attention. The needs of the body must be sensed and respected. Everyone must find the golden mean for his body in matters of food and sleep. In this approach, the body must not be despised or treated as a recalcitrant. It shall not be starved or overworked. The body shall not be punished for the ills of the mind or vital desire. Remember the old saying, Shariram Adyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. The body indeed is the means of realizing the truth. In matters of food, follow the dictum of the Gita, neither too much nor too little. Experiment and find out the type and the quantity of food that best suits your system. Do not change your food habits suddenly by switching over from non vegetarian to vegetarian, etc. While it is true that the nature of the food one eats influences one's temperament, it is also true that there are many other factors that determine one's temperament. One can also, by will, change one's temperament to a large extent. Learn to avoid heavy or gross stuff. Balancing in diet is what is called for. Do not make a fetish of food. What is more important is how you take in the food and what you make of it. Before you eat, remember and invoke the divine. Offer the food to the divine within you. Offer, offer your gratitude to all those who have made it possible for the nourishment to be available to you. In quietude, in silence, take the food as prasad, as grace. I have noticed in many homes in the West, they say grace at the table before eating the meal. If possible, do it in your own home so that all share in the bounty of God in the right spirit. I personally find the following verse from the Gita most apposite to our purpose. Brahmarpanam brahmabhi brahmagnau brahmanahutam brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Freely rendered in English, it runs: the divine is the offering, the divine is the oblation, the divine is the flame, the divine is the offerer, the divine is the goal of one who works with his mind on the divine. Om, peace, peace. peace. Remember the mother's injunction that you eat to live and not live to eat. Keep out greed. The body generally gives a signal when the quantity taken in is enough. Stop at that. Do not force yourself to eat out of false considerations. You do not need to throw if you take care to take just what is likely to be enough. There is no bar to getting tasty dishes. What is unspiritual is to indulge in attachment, in greed. Eat well, eat happily. Do not follow movements of anxiety, worry, tension, upsetting emotions like anger to interfere and vitiate the food you take in. Have a prayerful will that the food eaten must nourish the body and build it into a fit vehicle of God. Om Shanti.